Hi everyone. So in the last section of this course, we have discussed how to build pipelines using DVC, right? And now in this part 2 DVC video, we are going to continue from that part. So if you can recall, if I go to this dvc.yml file, this was the YML file that I had, right? Correct? Now, just to make sure everything is working fine, I will just run again DVC repro. I want to reproduce the whole pipeline again. And it will reproduce the whole pipeline because I made some parameter changes in the code, and that is why it will reproduce the whole pipeline. So let it reproduce first. So it's reproducing properly and things are right. Okay, so we are getting some matrix values also. So let me clear things out first. Okay, first of all, see guys, you can see this YML file, and from this YML file you can understand how the flow is going, right? From data ingestion, then model building, then model evaluation. But when you have a very bigger YML file, when you have many features, many stages, how do you understand that, okay, what feature is connecting with how, what? Okay, if there is any overlapping connection, how do you understand, right? Just by seeing this YML file, do you think you can easily understand when you have a complex YML file? When you have multiple YML files, you cannot understand, right? And so that is why we need to understand visually. We need some visualization that will help us to understand how the flow is going. So for that, there is a command that you need to run, dvc dag. If you run this command, it will show you the diagram. But if you see, this data ingestion is not connected with model building, but this model building is connected with model evaluation. Why? Let me explain to you why. If you see, in the data ingestion stage, there is an output. Out means output, right? As I have mentioned in the last video, out means output. What was the output? The output was this folder. In this folder, we were saving those data, right? But do you see any splitted data here in the dependencies of the next stage? No, right? This no dependencies. The output of the first stage is not at all mentioned any on a here. But if you see, in the model building stage, in the model building, I have an output called model pickle file. This was the folder and the pickle file path. So this is the dependency in the next stage, that is in the model evaluation. There is a dependency, right? And that is why in the diagram we can see that they are connected because there is some dependencies. But in this case, there is no dependencies coming from data ingestion stage. So we have to edit that part. So let's add this dependency as splitted data. Okay, let me copy it just simply. Okay, okay, it looks like it's fine. Now if I do DVC DAG again, let me first clear DVC DAG. If I do now, can you see now they are connected? See, using DVC DAG you can easily do this job. And now let's do DVC repro to see if there is any thing has happened or it will not run. So it's running it. So we got the same output again. So let me clear it out first. Okay, fine. Now, see, how I want to start now is, if you come here, if you see these values, right? This test size is 0.2, random state 20. If you come in the model trainer.py file, you see some value n name is equal to 6. Do you think this is a correct way of doing it? Why I am telling you? Because right now for demo purpose I am showing you this way. But when you are going to build a complete project, do you think your code will have only this 20-30 lines? It might have 1,000 number of lines. And now if you want to find what is the test size you have mentioned in one script which contains thousands of lines, do you think it's really easy for you to do the changes any one of here? No, right? So instead of putting this value here, we can keep this value somewhere else. Some parameter file should be there where we will keep these values. so that tomorrow if you want to do any changes, you don't need to touch this code. What you have to do, you just have to change there only, where you have only parameters mentioned, and code will work as it is. Correct? So for that only we need to create one file, YML file, that is called params.yml file. Okay. So how the YML file will work here? See, I will have some parameters for data ingestion stage. I will have some parameter for model trainer stage. And I don't think for evaluation there is no parameter is required. So as of now nothing is required here. But in these two stages we require some parameters, right? So for that let's create a key first, that is data ingestion. Now inside data ingestion what values we need to put? First of all, test size value. So let's put the test size like test size. Let's give some other name, test size param. Let's give some value of 0.2. Next is random state. Let me copy again. Random state param 20. Okay. So this is the random state param. Now if I come into model trainer, so now for model trainer how we are doing it? For model trainer I will again create something called model trainer. Then how we are going to give values? First is n neighbors. N neighbor is the only parameter in our scenario, right? So that is why I am putting n neighbors here. Okay. Now let's put some value 6. Now how are we going to use these parameter values in our main code, right? So for that we need to write some helper function. The helper function should be able to read this YML file and replace these values in these py files, right? So to write some helper functions in our code, I am creating a new file called utils.py. In this py file I will write all the helper functions. Okay. So first let's write some function. First of all I need to import YML file, that is import YML, because I am going to work with YML files. Now then I will write some function. The function name will be load params. Okay. This function will take params path. Okay. It will take a string input and it will return as dictionary output. Okay. So we are opening it using context manager. We are just opening it. We are passing the params path. We are opening it in a reading mode as file. Then YML the safe load. So YML the safe load will help you to load any YML files. Okay. So I am loading these YML files and I am returning it. That's simple. So the returning type will be as a dictionary, so that you can use these values as a key and value pair to call all of the values for each and every stages. Let me show you how. Let me first show you how. Let me create a IPONB file for you first to explain you how it works. exp.iponb. Okay. Let me connect the kernel first. So let me call this method, right? Let me call this method from utils import load params. Right? Now if I load the parameters, load params, and if I pass parameter path, this is the parameter we want to pass, right? So copy relative path, pass this one. Can you see how the output is coming? It's as a dictionary, right? So now if I save it in some variable, let's say a, okay, and how the a looks like? A looks like this. So now if I want to get the value of test size param, how can I get it? First I need to get this key, right? Because this is the key and this is the key. These two keys we have, and each key contains a value, and the value is also a dictionary, right? For this key there is a value, that is also a dictionary. So this key also there is a value, that is called dictionary. Correct? Now what I am doing, I need this test size param, right? So for that what I do, first I call the data ingestion. So I need the data ingestion. Now for data ingestion I got this value. The value is also a dictionary. Now from this dictionary I need to get this value called test size param. So for that I need to call it like test size param. Not this way. Yes, if I run it now. Sorry. Am I getting the value? The same way we need to call in our scenario. Okay, let's do it again just for your understanding. Let's see again how our A looks like. So this is our A we have. Now let's say we want to access this n neighbors param. So further first we need to access this one. Let's give it like model trainer. Okay, model trainer. Then we need this value. Are we getting the value? Yes guys, we are getting the value. So let's do in our py files. Let's import it first. From utils import load params. We are getting the params, right? So once you have the params, what you need to do? Load params, right? Okay. So now where we need to load it? That's what we need to understand now. Now to load it, how we need to load? We need to load here because we need to replace these two values here in our case, right? So let's load it out. Let's give some name like test size param. Then call the load params and then pass that parameters.yml as an input. Params.yml. Okay. Then we are calling this. From data ingestion, we are calling the test size param. Same way we do for random state also. Random state param. Let's call the same way random state param. Let's now replace these values with these values. Okay. Is it fine? It's working, right? Okay, let me just copy this value here and put inside of instead of TSS value, put random state value for random state. So this is done for data ingestion.py. Now let's do for model trainer.py. Okay, let's do some changes in model trainer.py. Same way, let's import again from utils import load params. Okay, now we are loading the params. Same way we will do now. Now let's put the same way like we are loading this n neighbors params. Load the params, then parameters.yml. Let's see what was the name we passed. It was some model trainer. So model trainer n neighbors params. I hope the name was correct. Let me still copy it, paste it. Now we will put this value here to make sure things will work fine. And yeah, this is the code that we have right. Okay. So it seems it's okay, right? We have done all the necessary changes. But now, hold on a second. We have done everything here, right? Okay, okay. Let me first run the code and let me show you the issue first. Then I will talk to how to solve it. See, we are good, right? So let's reproduce the pipeline again, right? Let's do DVC repro. Okay, let's do DVC repro and let it run first. So it's running again. Okay, ingestion stage ran, trainer ran, and evaluation ran, and we got some value. Okay, things are successful. If I come to this DVC.yml, see, um, can you see this stage is skipped? Why this stage is skipped? Because we have not done any changes in the evaluation code, right? But now, as I've told you, if you want to change any parameters from this, instead of changing here, we are going to change from this parameters.yml, right? So let's see if I make this random state as 19 and make this model trainer in neighbors param as 7. See, I have made some changes. So that means when I run the DVC repro again, it should run the whole pipeline again, right? That's the thought process we have, correct? But if I now do DVC repro again, Can you see there is nothing is running? It's saying didn't change skipping, didn't change skipping, didn't change skipping. Why? Because in this YML, did we pass anywhere any of the parameters information? See, when we are calling this DVC repro, it is running this py file. And in that py file, I have mentioned that, okay, these are the YML files and this is how you need to call it. But when it is carrying this DVC YML, there's no information about the parameters, this params or YML. There is no information, right? So we need to give that information in this DVC YML. Then only this pipeline will again run whenever we do some changes in this params or YML file. Okay. So now if I do that changes now, let me go back to this one. So what are parameters that we had? Let's do like params. You need to pass params. If you want to pass parameters as a value here, you need to pass params. Okay. So in the params, let me do this way. What we are passing? If we come here, we are passing data ingestion. Data ingestion dot what? Test size parameters, right? That is why I have to pass this way. Next, same data ingestion dot what we are passing, this random state param, that is under data ingestion, right? That is why I'm passing like this. Now same way we need to do for model building also. Okay, param. Let's come back to our YML model trainer dot dot n neighbors param. There is only one we have, so it seems it's fine, right? This looks good. Now if I clear this whole thing and if I do DVC repro, can you see now it is running? See, now it is running. Even evaluation is also running now. Can you see now we are getting the recall value? Now if I do any changes in the parameters.yml, let's make it again 6. Okay. Now I am doing changes inside params.yml. And now if I do clear and if I run DVC repro, see, it's running the model trainer. Why? Because I have changed only this one. Okay, so for your understanding, let me change everywhere. Let's make it 10%, let's make it 25, let's make it 12. Okay, so all states should run here. So let me clear whole thing. Let me do DVC repro. See, now even if I am doing changes in the parameters also, now parameters is also tracked here in our case, and that is why now we are able to get the response properly. Correct? So I hope you guys have understood. Now let's focus on another thing. If I come back to this eval.py, you can see I'm returning value like this way, right? But instead of returning that, can't we log it inside DVC, right? Because every time we will get like this, and we are not saving it anywhere. When we are running it, then we are able to see the values. Are we saving it anywhere? Nowhere, right? So these things also we need to do. We need to track every experiment. We need to track every experiment. We need to track every matrix also. So first let me show you one way to get the metrics using DVC. Okay. Then we will do the experiment tracking, and in that experiment tracking only I will again show you how to track your metrics, how to track your experiments and everything. Okay. So as of now, let me show you how can you use DVC metrics method to get the metrics that you have from your training. Okay. So I think I need to do some changes in my code. So first let me do one thing. Let me first copy all of this from here. Let me now save it in a variable matrix matrix equal to this. Okay, so we are in a very good shape now. Let me just beautify it properly. This this. Okay, so I got the matrix here, right? And now what I need to do, I need to save this matrix, right? I need to save this matrix in a JSON file. That's what is my motto is. To save this dictionary save this dictionary in this JSON format. So for that I need another helper function, right? So let's go to this utils.py and let's write the helper function. Let's do like a function, let's name it like save JSON. This will take the input JSON path str and the matrix dictionary. Okay, and it will return none actually because we are not returning anything. So it will return none. Uh, None. Okay. So how we are saving it? We are opening a context manager. We are opening it in a writing format because we are going to write in a new file. And what we are going to write? We are going to write the matrix. Where we are trying to write? We are trying to write inside file, and we gave some indentation 4. And we are dumping using json.dump method. So I need to import JSON. Let's import the JSON. Okay. It looks good, right? Fine. So this is the function that we have. Now let's go to this eval.py. Let's call that function first. From utils import save JSON. Okay. I called from utils import save JSON. And now after that, what I need to do? I need to save this JSON file. So for that, I just need to call save JSON. Pass the name matrix. Let's now pass it like matrix matrix ml.json. And we are passing the dictionary as matrix. Okay. Let's not return anything here as of now. Let's return anything like let's return a true, like anything as of now. I'm removing that one here as of now. Okay. Let me do clear now. Now let me run this DVC repro again. Okay. Evaluation is running because we made changes in the evaluation code. Right. And now can we see some matrix ml.json is created here? Right. Now one change we need to do now in the dvc.yml file. What changes? If I come in this dvc.yml file, in this model evaluation, we need to add one more value, that is matrix that is matrix underscore ml.json. Okay. So I got this matrix underscore ml.json, right? Now if I do dvc repro again, let me clear it again. dvc repro, it will again run it. And if I do clear again, and if I write, let me clear again, sorry, dvc matrix matrix show, I think this is the command. Yes, when I run dvc matrix show, can you see now it is able to show you this parameter values. So now even you can see this all the updates here all inside JSON file using this matrix.json only. You can easily visualize that output here, but still you cannot see you cannot track the matrix here. You are not tracking the matrix here, right? Because here I am just showing you how DVC works. Okay, for tracking purpose we use ML flow that we are going to learn in the next section, but I just wanted to show you what are things we can do using DVC. So this is one aspect of it. But now what we do now, we now track our experiment, we track our parameters, we track our metrics, everything we track using DVC, so that you can see each and every run what all parameters you have, what all metrics you have, everything you can log somewhere so that you can compare. Okay, that also I will show you next. So let's clear again. So now we are in the page of DVC where this guy have mentioned get started with experiment tracking. See, tools like Jupyter notebooks are useful for rapid prototyping, but it's hard to keep track of changes and reproduce the experiments. You can start using DVC to version your experiments without leaving a Jupyter notebook. Every DVC experiment will be versioned without cluttering your repo, unlike saving each run to a separate directory or creating a Git branch for each. Right? So how we can do that? First they have mentioned that you need to do pbstore DVC live, and then see they have different Python versions: PyTorch, Lightning, Hugging Face, Keras, General Python API. These things are there, right? So let's try to understand it. First, we need to do pip install DVC live, right? So let's go to DVC live and let's come back to our code. And now let's do one thing. I think in our requirement.txt DVC live is already there. And let me do pip install -r. Okay. So it will do all the installations. Okay. So now let's follow how these people are doing it. So for that, let's go back to this code again. How these people are doing? These people are calling this one, right? From DVC live import live. So what we want to log in our case, we want to log the parameter, we want to log metric, we want to log our model, right? This all logging thing we want to do. So let me first import this one. I think I can copy it. Okay, let me copy first this one. Let me come here. I need to go to the ingestion one. Okay, and I need to copy this value also. I need to keep track of this test size and everything. Okay, so for that also I'll do something. So let me do this one first. From DVC live import live. Okay, import live I'm doing. Now let's again go back to the code. Let's do like now paste it here. Okay, in this one. Now again, now what do you need to do? From DVC live import live, we need to call this one. Okay, Control V. Now again go back to the code. Live.log param. This is the function to log the parameters, right? So how we do that? Live.log param name is test size, right? Param name is test size, and we are passing this value as here. Okay, or let's do one thing. Let's keep everything inside this one. Not everything, only these values, I guess. Or let's keep till this value inside this. Okay. Okay, and let's do below. Okay, Control X. Here I have test size param. Here I have random state param, and then let's do this here. Live.log param test size param, and same we do for random state param. Okay, all looks good, and now this is splitting, then it will do its job. So now we have logged these parameters, right? And again we need to log inside this model trainer also. Okay, because in the model trainer also we have to track this one. So how do we do that? Again same way. I think I have to import this live again first. Import this live. Okay, once this live is imported, again if we go back to the code, same we need to do live.log param. Okay, let's copy from here, paste it here, then keep everything inside this one. Okay, now live.log param we need to call again. This is the neighbors parameter, right? Just push it here, then put neighbors here, and what is the name? Neighbors only, right? Like this. Okay, so our parameters are logged, right? Correct. Okay, fine. Now what I need to do? Now we need to track the metrics also. That is there in the eval.py, right? So for that, first of all, see, as now we are doing this tracking using DVC live, so we are not required this shape JSON file. we do not need to use this JSON file anymore. So I am removing that. Even from this DVC YML also I am removing this matrix because that is not required, because it will be tracked now automatically for all the experiment. So this is not required now. Okay. Now if I come back to this model trainer code, not model trainer, eval code. Now if I go again, let's copy this. Okay, I need to import this first. Import this one and let's remove this one because this is not required. Okay, from DVC live, import live. We are good. Same way, copy it. Copy it. Okay. Now, how to log the matrix? They have mentioned the name, right? For metric name, comma value in matrix dot items, live log metric. So copy this whole status. See, we have already the dictionary ready, right? Dictionary is already ready in our case. So, okay, let me do one thing. Let me do it below. Let me just cut it from here. Cut it from here. Below. Inside it. Now, how we are doing that? See, in our case, this is the matrix. So, matrix dot item, metric name. This is a metric name value. This is the full value, right? We are calling it now. We get live dot log metric, metric name and value. So, we are logging each and every matrix here, right? So we are good here. We are good here in this case. We are good here. Now, what we do? We need to run again DVC. Let's run DVC repro. It's running now. Data ingestion.py. Okay. Okay. We got some error. Let's see what is the error. We got some error. Okay, we need to do git init first. Okay. I think git init is also there, but not sure what is showing this error. Let me retry again. DVC repro. We should not get the error. Okay, we are getting error again. We are getting some SCM error, right? So let's see. They are telling to run use DVC experiment run to save the experiment. So instead of that, let's run DVC exp run. DVC exp run. Okay. We are getting empty git repo. Okay, let me do git init. And if I do again DVC exp run, empty git repo. Okay. We are getting some error. Let's solve this error. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me push. I guess I need to add this log file. That is why. Let me do git add. Okay. Let me do git add. Before doing git add, now I need to change inside this git ignore. That is, model folder should not be tracked in the GitHub because it contains a model that I don't want. Okay. Okay. Now, if I come back to our code dvc add dot, it should add everything. Okay. Now if I run dvc exp run, okay, let me do some commit first. Commit -m, added v1. Okay, let's clear it out now. Let's run dvc exp run. See, it's running now. Okay, so this is how you can solve these errors. Okay, you need to push everything in the GitHub because it was having some empty repo. That is why it was throwing some error. So that is why I pushed something in the Git repo. Now I have run the experiment. Can you see when I ran dvc exp run, things got ran successful. Updating log file dvc log. Outputting log for DVC log. I'll explain you what is the DVC log and how it works. But let me first show you how this experiment tracking is happening. Can you see when I did DVC experiment, this ran successfully, correct? But now you need to come in the here in the VS Code. There's something called extension here, and you need to install DVC. Okay, you need to install this DVC. When you install it, you will get something like here DVC. Click on it here. Click on the show experiments. Can you see the experiment, guys? This was name, right? Gusty Lahak. Achha, I cleared that, but can you see? This is the Gusty Lahak, the name of this experiment. What is the AUC score we got that is showing? I think I can, yeah. This is the AUC score we got. This is the metadata information that we don't need. And inside the params.html, can you see? I think I can do this, or I can expand this. Yes, I can expand this also. Okay, hold on. Let me just close this one. I don't want to see this one. Hide this. We can right click and hide this. We can right click and hide this because this I don't want to see. Hide this, hide this, hide. I don't want to see this metadata. Now, can you see? From the params.yml only, it is directly reflecting that. See, this is the random state value, and this is the random state param value, and this is the test size param value. You got some ROC AUC value here, but we can only see the one value, right? Only we can get only ROC AUC score. We cannot see the others. And let's see why it is happening. Let's debug our issue. Let me go here. Let me check why it is happening. So, am I doing anything wrong here? Matrix for metric name comma value in matrix dot items live dot log metric metric name and value. Actually should do this one. I'm trying to understand why it is not doing this one. Let me go inside the experiment. Let me again recheck. Okay, let me just go inside DVC live folder. Let's go inside DVC live folder once. And there is a matrix.json. And we have these values, right? We have these values here, but it is only showing the ROC score. It is not showing all the values in the experiments. And let's see why it is happening. Select columns. Yes. Can you guys see the issue? When I right click on it, when I clicked on select columns, can you see these all things are checked, but this precision is not checked, and that is why we are not able to see them. So now let's click on this, let's check them so that we can see them. Sorry, let me do again. Select columns, select this, select this, select this, and click on OK. Now can you see these values, guys? We can see this all value, right? Recall value, precision value, all you can see. ROC score value, even the parameters are also tracked. Now if I do some changes again, let me do some changes inside params.yml file. Let me make it 30%, 30% test size, make it 12 and make it 3. And if I do again dvc exp run, if I do that now, it's again doing it, right? It's running it. So yeah, see the experiment name is, this is the experiment name. New name they will generate. Now if I come here, can you see that name also came? Now for that, what F1 value we have, what precision we have, what equal we have, what RDC AUC we have, plus what parameters did we use, everything is tracked. Okay, now let's compare. Even you can draw plots also using DVC. You can compare two experiments. So in our case, we ran these two experiments, right? This one and this one. So let's compare these two experiments. Check on this, check on this. Can you see this one? Show plots. See, now we are able to see the F1 value for both of the experiment, okay? But right now we cannot understand much because, as you know, we have only two experiments, and that is why it is not that understandable, but I just wanted to show you that how it looks like. Okay, but when you have multiple experiments, you will get a better visualization in your scenario. Okay, but as I mentioned already, we do not use DVC to track our experiment. MLflow is better than DVC, okay, as of now. So that is why when we do end-to-end projects also, we'll use MLflow only to track the experiment, but for the pipeline we will use DVC. Okay, but yeah, that's what I wanted to show you in the experiment part. And the last part that I need to show you guys, let me show you the last part. See what is DVC, data version control, but I have not showed you why we are controlling data version. I have not showed you, right, why we are controlling the data version. So let me show you now. These things are working. Now let me show you the data versioning. Okay, let me show the data versioning. How to do that? Okay, I will let DVC know that it has to track this data folder. Okay, I have to let DVC know about it. So for that I need to run a command, DVC add data. Now can you see? It shows that to enable auto staging run, DVC add data. I have added the data. Okay, now it is tracked by DVC, and that is why DVC created one data.dvc also, and it contained the metadata of this current data. This contains the metadata of this current data. Okay, now and DVC is telling that git add data DVC, because you are not going to put the data in your GitHub, right? You are going to put this data.dvc, that is the metadata in your scenario. But before pushing the code in the GitHub, we need to have some remote storage, right? Because we are storing this data somewhere, not in the GitHub but somewhere else, so that tomorrow if new guy is coming, he is copying your code or he is cloning your code from a GitHub repo, it has to just call some command. He has to just run some command, and that command will help him to get the data in his system automatically. And data.dvc will help for that only. But first of all, I need to save this data somewhere, some remote location, right? So in our scenario right now, I have not introduced you any cloud services, but in this course we are going to focus on AWS cloud, but that will come later. So as of now, for demo purpose, I will create a folder here itself, which will work as a remote storage for this data set. Okay, let's give it a name like data remote. Okay, this is the remote storage as of now. You can assume it's a remote storage in our scenario. Okay, now we need to run some command to push that data that is there in this remote storage. Okay, we need to run some command. So let's run the command dvc. Let's first clear this one. Dvc remote add -d means destination. Let's give some name, my remote. I'm giving some name, and now you need to pass the destination path. In our case, this is the destination path. This is the remote storage that we want to keep here. So right click on it, copy the relative path and paste it here and press enter. So now setting my remote as a default remote. So your remote storage is ready. Now what you need to do, DVC push. You need to push the code inside this remote storage. See, 8 files are pushed. Now if you go inside this data.remote, data_remote, you can see this kind of metadata, and this metadata will be used in your scenario. Okay, okay, so now if I show the data, this is how the data set looks like. 65 13 35 12. Keep these two rows in your mind, okay, as of now, because I will show you how versioning will happen here. So this is the two rows you have, this is the two rows and 3 columns, right? And I'll do the push in the GitHub now. Git commit, let me clear again. Git commit -m added v2. Okay, okay, I forgot to add, sorry. Git add dot, then do the same command, git commit -m v2, Let's clear again. Let's run git push dash u origin master. So as you can see, our code getting pushed, right? Let's clear this one now. Now what is going to happen? Our code is pushed, right? And let me do some changes in the dataset now. Let's assume that this 65 is now 35. Let's make it let's make this 35 as 56. Okay, so this is the changes that we did in our dataset, right? So as we have made some changes, and now let's run the code DVC repro. We have made some changes in the dataset, and that is why now it is again running this experiment. You can run DVC experiment also, but here I am just running DVC repro. Okay, okay, okay. It ran, and let's again push everything. Git add, then git git commit dash m, added v3, and now let's do git push dash u origin master. Okay, so it has pushed it now, right? Let me clear this. Now we made two commits, and now if you see, our data is at 3556, right? Now if I do git dash dash log file, this is the wrong command that I'm running right now. Sorry, I ran the wrong command. DVC log dash dash one line, my bad. So you can see two comments, right? Added v2, added v2, added v1, right? And right now our branch is in added v3, and in our added v3 we had this data 3556. But now if I want to jump in this one, in this commit, and I want to get back the data that I used in this commit, how we can do that? That is the versioning, right? In each commit we have some other data set, and that is called versioning. With each commit we are versioning our data set also. So to switch back to this branch, you need to copy this commit id, then run git checkout. Let me again clear first. Git checkout, git checkout. Okay, okay, you are in detached head state. So now if I clear this, so my head is now here, right? So if I run git dash log dash dash one line, we can see now my head is in added v2. But to see all the commits that we made, one line all, I guess, or one line a, one line list, I guess. I forgetting the commit command. Sorry, I am git log dash dash one line dash dash all. Okay, so that is now, see, we have these three commits, and out of this there are two commits from DVC also. Okay, two commits from DVC also. So all commits we can see now. We were in this commit, but now our head is in this commit, but there is no changes in the data set, right? Same 3556, same. Let's fix it now. How to fix it? Let's get the data back. What you need to do, you need to run DVC pull. You need to just run the command DVC pull. Now if you come here, can you see the changes? Now it is 65 and 35. The correct data that we had in this commit, 65, 35. Okay, let's again go back to, let me again clear, and let me run this command. Let's again go back to this commit. Okay, we are now in this commit. Let's again go back to this commit, and then we'll see if data is changing or not. Let me copy this commit id, and let me keep the data here in the terminal here so that you can see the changes here. Keep your eye on these two values. Okay, first if I do git checkout and the id, so my head came in v3 now. Now what I need to do? What I need to do? I need to run DVC pull to pull the data. Can you see now it's 3556? So this is how data versioning is happening along with the code versioning. So in now when you are coming in the different commits, your codes are also getting changed, whatever you have used on that time, as well as data are also getting versioned all together. So this is the whole video on DVC that I wanted to teach you guys. So now from the next part onwards, we are going to continue with ML flow. So thank you for watching this video.